Welcome to Fan Favorite Friday. It is Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner and psychic for over 35 years. Wait till you see what we have for today. I am going to make Fan Favorite Friday a surprise every week. So you're not going to know what it is until you watch the video. Stick around. Welcome, Tarot Maniacs. I am feeling super summery. We're going to be having a heat wave. I am super stoked about it. I know it's really hot. Hopefully the air conditioning will stay on. If not, I'm going to be jumping in one of those baby pools we have. But it's Fan Favorite Friday, and this is when you guys get to pick a topic, and I do a long form video on it. This one is going to knock your socks off because I loved the request. We're going to do the ghosts of classic Hollywood, the haunted story of the Roosevelt Hotel. So if you've ever been to Los Angeles, the Roosevelt Hotel is very famous for having lots of golden age celebrities that have stayed there. All kinds of crazy things have gone on there. So Marilyn Monroe actually had a room there. Lots of people have met their end there. So we're going to be talking about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun ghost story. Don't worry, because at 4:00 New York time, we're going to do an hour and a half live where we're going to do more of your fan favorite stuff. And then at 6:00, we are going to do off YouTube a private group past life regression. It's a guided meditation that I do with y'all. And then we're going to stick around and talk a little bit about our experiences. So it's one of my favorite things to do. Lots of you have done this with me privately. So it's a chance for you guys to also meet each other on a different platform. I do it through Zoom, so you get to actually see each other and we get to interact. So little fun stuff, but it's going to be off YouTube. So let's get going. Before I pull up the cards, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and why don't you go ahead and give this video a share for anybody who's a ghost fan. So let's get going here. I'm going to make this nice and big for us. And let's get the card view over there. Let's go. So, the Roosevelt Hotel is smack in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard. It's got old glamour, lots of ghost sightings, including Marilyn Monroe, Montgomery Clift, and other Golden Age stars that are believed to have haunted this or continue to haunt it. We're going to look at Hollywood then, Hollywood now, and we're going to ask some of these ghosts some questions. So I hope you guys like this little history. Opened in 1927, it was funded by industry giants, including Mary Pickford and Douglas Fair of the Pickford home fame that was torn down by when Pia Sedora tore it down, much to the chagrin of many Hollywood purists. Sid Grauman also was involved in the development of this particular property. It hosted the first ever Academy Awards in 1929 in the Blossom Room. It's still an iconic destination for celebs now, but also Golden Age celebs. So notable hauntings and ghost reports. Marilyn Monroe. And actually, I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger while I talk about some of the fun facts. Swoop. Well, I guess I can't do that. I guess that is not happening. There we go. So she lived there briefly early in her career. So who knows what went on in that room. It is Suite 1200 that is allegedly one that has her appearance in a full-length mirror. So the mirror has been moved. It's now in storage after too many reports of people looking at themselves in the mirror and she's behind them kind of looking at them. Room 1200 experiences cold spots, flickering lights, and perfume smells. Flickering lights are a very, very common experience for facilities and places that have some spirit activity. Spirits are energy, they are electrical, so it is very easy for them to flicker lights, mess with your TV, those kinds of things. So if you have someone pass on and you see some flickering lights, it may be someone who's communicating with you. So Montgomery Clift, he allegedly haunts room 928, and he lived there while filming From Here to Eternity. Everybody knows that famous scene on the beach. He is said to pace the halls outside the room. Trumpet music is often heard, disembodied sighs, and there's also a feeling of being watched. That is something that a lot of my clients, my private clients, when they lose someone close to them, they do get the sensation of being watched. And sometimes in readings, we can determine if that is a friendly, dearly beloved that has passed on. It is common in room 928 for lone female guests to feel like they are being watched in that room. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. The Blossom Room. Now that we just said was the first site, the site of the first Oscars. There are reports of ghostly party sounds. And when they open the doors, they disappear. Very, very wild. Typewriters clacking with no source. Not a lot of people walk around with typewriters these days. So if you're hearing a typewriter, little neat. Cold drafts and full apparitions in tuxedos and gowns. So they are coming to the ball fully dressed. Some believe that a spirit of a former studio executive still attends awards there. So there have been reports of this individual, this shade, coming up to people and interacting with them a little bit. So it's wild. Now there's also Carolyn. She's a little girl spirit, and she's a blonde child in a turn of the century dress. She's seen skipping or crying in the halls. Now, some ghost experts and psychics believe that she was not a guest but tied to the land prior to the hotel being built there. That is something that I've experienced. I did do a party out on Staten Island, which is not far from me, and the woman in the house asked me about the ghost in her house, and I said, well, he's not in your house. He's in everybody's house. There used to be a railway, like a selection of buildings at this railway that went through. And this individual died somewhere involved with the trains. I believe he was run over. And he goes from house to house. So he's not just staying in one house. He goes from house to house. So I said, ask your neighbors if they're having any activity. She goes, they're going to think I'm nuts. I said, just ask him. And sure enough, they're all like split level houses, and he hangs out in the bottom floor of all the houses. I think he's just going in the downstairs one. So if you have a ghostie in your house, or a shade, or a poltergeist, well, not poltergeist is different. But if you have one of those in your house, it may be also going to different houses too. So the hotel's current paranormal story, it's a regular feature on ghost tours. There have been numerous paranormal investigations. This summer, I am going to coordinate a paranormal investigation with one of our local colleges, with my friends that are with NJ Paranormal Investigations. My friends JT and Sandy. I'm going to coordinate with them. We just haven't been able to get our schedules together, but the theater at one of the local colleges is alleged to be haunted by a number of spirits. So we're going to go over there and do that. So stick around for that this summer. Employees confirm unofficial rules for dealing with certain rooms at the Roosevelt Hotel, which is interesting. There are lots of different connections. So we could go on and on about the Roosevelt. We're already 9 minutes in. I want to get to reading some cards and doing some channeling on this. So let's talk to the late, great Marilyn Monroe. What do you think of modern Hollywood's obsession with fame at all costs? It's done and dusted. This is very tried. Marilyn Monroe did not have my New Jersey accent, but this is done and dusted. This is a very tried and tested kind of interaction with fame. When you were at the Roosevelt, Were you an anything goes kind of girl? Were you really kind of in that mindset, Missy? She hated it, but it was all for um it was fighting the war on the battlefield that was presented to her. If she could go back and do it differently, if she were born in a modern world, I don't think she would have taken the same trajectory. I don't think she would have been as agreeable to some of the things that she did. Famously, she said, "I'll never have to suck a blank again," after she really did hit some level of fame. So, very interesting. Marilyn, how often do you check in to the Roosevelt Hotel these days? How often do you check in to the Roosevelt Hotel these days? Sporadically, infrequently. So one of the things she does want us to know is that there is a recording of her behavior there. So there are a couple of different hauntings. There are intelligent hauntings where a spirit is in that location and they can move around and communicate with you. And then there are these recorded events, and we all hear about the Lady in White. These recorded events where um maybe a traumatic or a heightened emotion happens at a moment in time, and that is recorded in that space. So that's why we see those ladies in white that are, jumping off a building or something like that. The looking in the mirror is something recorded in that space. Is your spirit in the room typically? I want to take those out. Is your spirit in the room typically? She likes the room. So the room has more fond memories for her than negative. Want you to know that. It was a place where she actually first felt like the diva that she became, like the superstar that she became. It was, the staff was wonderful. They really did take good care of her. She was well protected from other people nosing into her business. I don't know if there's a balcony off that room or like a little outdoor area, but I feel like there's doors that she could open up and kind of walk out onto like a terrace kind of thing. And that was very private as well. So she not only was in this very protective environment with staff that was falling all over themselves to make sure that she was happy. Service there, customer service was fantastic when she was there. It was a place where she could reign from on high. Now, do I think that her home gave her this same sensation? No, it didn't. Because this was when she was at her home, she was basically kind of on her own with just maybe that housekeeper looking out for her or the friends that were coming to stay. This was a very pleasant place to stay for her. She's very fond of this, probably as fond, if not more fond than her home. I would say more fond. And I think if she could have been a resident, I think she would have done it. So if they had like residency where you could have like a little kitchen and kind of a suite, kind of like a living situation, I think she would have stayed there. She was protected from the higher ups in the industry because the staff was very good about weeding out the people that were coming and going. Very neat. Did not expect that. Do you haunt that mirror? How do you feel about that mirror? Ladies, you're going to get this. It was a skinny mirror. When you go shopping, for those of you that aren't aware of the skinny mirror effect, when you go shopping, sometimes the mirrors in clothing stores will be skinny mirrors. They'll make it look a little bit skinnier. And this was a skinny mirror. The lighting, yeah, there was something about the lighting, the way the mirror was placed as well. The lighting and the mirror itself always made her look fabulous. And she likes that mirror a lot. And mirrors are very interesting. I love mirrors. My mother has an antique mirror that I have my eye on, and I'm not going to let that be sold with the house or go anywhere if they ever move out of that house. But it's a very small antique mirror. There's a Stephen King story about the Delver glass, which is a haunted mirror people disappear in it, and was one of my favorite stories as well. But I love antique mirrors, and I have a lot of contemporary mirrors in my house. But people are very nervous about antique mirrors because they feel like something gets trapped in there. This was a great mirror for her. She would like to see it replaced and go where it is. I have a feeling that there is some damage done to it. I think that's part of the reason why it is not in the room. I do think that there is a notable flaw in it right now. And that is kind of a bummer. No one would want it in the room. I want to say there's a crack across the middle, but I don't know if there is. The Delver glass in the Stephen King story, that was in the Skeleton Crew book. If you have it, go read it. It's a great story. I think that the flaw is a little too obvious. So let's leave Marilyn. Thank you, Marilyn, your industry for your assistance here. So let's jump on over to Montgomery Cliff. Do you still feel attached to this hotel, the Roosevelt? Do you still feel attached to the Roosevelt? There is some smooth moves. No, he's not trapped there. He wants us to know that for sure. He is not trapped there. But the selection of ladies, the selection of beautiful people was always very, very good there. It was a place where people really did dial it up. That is one of his disappointments about Hollywood today. The fashion has become outrageous rather than beautiful, well styled, and quality fabrics and construction. So, the freakishness of Hollywood is something that he doesn't like. He wants to see more of that Hollywood glamour brought back. The fur stoles can be fake fur. I have a few fake furs and they look great. The glittering, beautiful gowns. He wants to see people coming in as gorgeous specimens and not quite so freakish. So I think not to impugn her style, but Arrivo, what's her name? Olivia Arrivo, the one from Wicked. I think her outrageous fashion is a bit hard for him to cope with. Certainly, I all of a sudden I'm getting the image of Bjork in her swan dress, and that is right out. Would not want to have anything to do with that. Getting attention for being outrageous is something that he finds very, very distasteful and bad form. He would rather see people come in understated, low key, and glittery and gorgeous. There is something about glitter on women, the jewels, the sparkling dress, beading, those kinds of things. That is what he wants to see. He doesn't want to see, cut down to here, cut over here. Grace Kelly, that kind of style. Marilyn, of course, he is throwing her into my head as well. Sophia Loren came in right away. He's showing me examples of what he would like. So more more beautiful, more style is what he wants. So, what's your take on the women that come and stay in your room? What's your take? What's your take? Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles. I wouldn't leave the room in that. He wants people to spiff up a little bit more. He hates sneakers. I've gotten very clearly he hates sneakers on women. You can wear sneakers if you're working in your garden, if you're planting a few flowers, but he hates sneakers. That's very funny. Very funny. Whoops. Dropping cards, dropping cards. Sticking these back in. Why do you watch the ladies in your room? Why are you watching them? He is looking for the next beauty to come in there. He wants to see more stars come in, and that's not what's happening. He's not seeing more stars, seeing more tourists. Why are you sighing? Is that why you're sighing? Because they're not learning from the golden age, and because stars are not they don't have to climb the same way. That's why he's sighing. He's not seeing celebrities coming and staying at the Roosevelt and climbing their way up, and that's the place. The pricing is a little awkward, he's saying. It's not as economical as it was back in the day. For up and comers. Up and comers could go there and mix with more established celebrities and kind of find their footing. So we'll let Montgomery Clift take a nap. And let's talk about the Blossom Room spirits. I need a representative. I need like an ambassador for you guys. Can I get one to step up? And I think I've got the guy who's the producer or industry kind of bigwig. Very coming in very official, very, very professionally. Like wants to shake my hand. So shake my hand, sir. There we go. And so let's talk about it. So why all the parties? What's going on? There are not enough parties there of note. They need more parties there of note. I'm gonna have to look up the Blossom Room because I don't know what it looks like. I don't think I was in there. If they're not gonna throw the party, we're gonna throw the party. So is this the Oscars held over and over again? Are you all there? Oh my goodness. It is a mishmash of celebrations. So all of the parties, it will have some from column A, column B, that kind of thing. If we were to have like a spirit scope, put on some spirit specs and look at that whole room, we would see individuals dressed in different decades of fashion. That's kind of cool. Very neat, very neat. So do any of you ever get angry about the stuff that's going on there? Like any of your cohorts get angry? Get frustrated sometimes? When they shut the lights out. When they shut the lights out in the room, I almost want to say that management at the Roosevelt should leave those lights on a little bit. I think that is they want to leave the lights on. In fact, I think they turn the lights on and off. So Fun stuff. Well, listen, sir, thank you so much for giving us some insight into that. One last question. What do you think of the Oscars now? The Oscars, just so you kind of know, if you don't know, sir, they are abysmal. Like it's just not the gorgeousness that it was. What do you think of them now? Knight of Wands. They're giving out awards to people that don't deserve them. It is a popular. You're gonna be popular. It is a popularity contest, and he doesn't like that. He wants, and there's all. He says that we demand more of the craft. We demanded more of the craft back in the day. And he wants to see more evidence of good work. So more people going to actor studio and really getting on stage and learning their chops there before they go on to film. There's a lot to be said about the manipulation of the films and the images. He does not like CGI. He does not like AI implementation in movies. He thinks all of that is a cheat. So, he just doesn't feel like they're giving awards to the people that truly, truly deserve them. So, let's just see. Are we going to get any new spirits at the Roosevelt? Are you going to ask some to come stay forever? This is disturbing. So there's really nobody that he, of late that he wants to come stay. But Wheel of Fortune, we're always open for somebody to come and stay with us. There's nobody that he wants to die in his hotel right now. There's no one that he can think that this particular producer, bigwig, Hollywood bigwig, we'll call him Hollywood bigwig. There's nobody that would make his casting call right now in the industry. So he's a toughie. He's a little bit of a toughie. So very interesting stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's get back to business. So reminder again, we are going to do a live at 4:00. So I hope to see some of you there. We'll answer some more questions about fan favorite Friday. So if your question wasn't answered, I am going to be answering some of them in shorts, but if your question wasn't answered, I think I'm blurry right now. So I think there might be somebody here with me right now. If I didn't answer your question, I may answer it in a short. Make sure you come by for the 4:00 New York time live. And there is still room for the past life regression. So if you want to jump in on that, come on in. It's going to be a good time. We'll have a little party, 2 hours out of your life. And I'm doing it for free as a thank you for getting me to 1 million views. Also, with the heat wave coming, I am probably going to be doing a heat wave sale for the weekend. So I think Saturday I am going to do 9 to 9, open all day at a discounted rate. So stick around. I will post up for that. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the future.